Hello, everybody. This is Louise Eddington with Cosmic Owl Astrology. And before I dive in to talk about Neptune stationing direct, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and leave me a comment because I love to hear from you as I grow this channel. I'd also like to say I am offering a free solstice celebration and preview of 2023 webinar. It's going to be on December the 21st at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, recorded, of course, and the registration link will be down in the bottom, or you can find it on my Facebook page and various other places. So I hope you'll join me because 2023 is shaping up to be very, very interesting. So anyway, let's dive in. So Neptune is stationing direct on December the 1st at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. But before I talk about the astrology, I want to say that Neptune is stationing direct at 22 degrees Pisces, only 6 degrees and 20 minutes from Jupiter. So I'm going to say he's conjunct Jupiter because there's such vast energies. And Neptune's also opposing Ceres in Virgo and still widely square to Mars in Gemini. But even more importantly, Venus is square Neptune on that, like moments after Neptune stations direct. So Venus is square to Neptune on the station, and Mercury squares Neptune right before as well. So this is a mutable grand cross. So things going to get very confusing. So Neptune stations tend to be really draining. That you tend to not have direction, especially in Pisces, because Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, and especially conjunct Jupiter, the traditional ruler of Pisces. So if you're finding yourself feeling very shimmery, one of my YouTube commenters described it as, then that's what's going on. You may have no drive, no energy, feel like you get up and go as get up and gone, and so on and so forth. But it will come back. But I'm going to give you suggestions to enjoy it. So we're going to look at some stuff. Then we're going to go through all signs to show you where Neptune is stationing direct for you. But first, let's look at the numbers. Neptune is stationing direct at 22 degrees Pisces, as I said, and the number 22 is a master number. It's called the spiritual master builder on the material plane. So 22 is about dreams made manifest, ancient wisdom, force of nature, the future, evolution, universal love, God, whatever that is for you. It's the universe. It's just, it is all that is, it's idealist, it's expansive, it's visionary. And here it is in Pisces, which has all of those qualities as well. Pisces is the energy of creation, the soup of creation, the cosmic soup, the amniotic fluid. So you're beginning to get an idea about this station. Yes, it's powerful. Now, I pulled a card for the Neptune station direct, and I actually got the disappointment card, but I pulled the disappointment card reversed, and that means letting go, acceptance, seeing positives, and moving on. All right. So even though I'm recording this on November the 29th, even though this station is going to be very draining, if you can just surrender and let go and relax into the magic and the shimmery nature of this energy, then you're going to enjoy it. But and funnily enough, as I record this, I am surrounded by a sea of white because we had a big snowstorm. So it's kind of feels very Neptunian anyway. So I also want to talk about the dates. So let me share the chart a little bit, and then we'll talk about the energies and we'll look at the symbols and we'll go into all signs. So Neptune will station direct on December the 3rd at 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Now Neptune, I'm going to go back. Neptune turned retrograde on June the 28th, 2022 at 25 degrees of Pisces. So at that time over here in Pisces, Juno was in Pisces. Juno's in Pisces now, actually. And the Neptune station was in aspect to Pluto, as it still is really in this sextile with Pluto that we've had going on back and forth for a long time. But really, it was making no other major aspects. It made a sextile to Pallas Athena. There was no squares or oppositions. And since June, Neptune has been trolling along retrograde. And, you know, really, because Neptune is a slower moving planet with an orb of 165 years, really, it's only the station days that really bite with Neptune, other than when it's being aspected by, or when it's receiving aspects from faster moving planets or slower moving planets. But overall, the time around the station in June, at the end of June, was a difficult time. And that's actually when I caught COVID. So just be aware that Neptune in Pisces can be about respiratory diseases. We're seeing RSV on the rise, COVID's on the rise again. It can lead to slightly weakened immune response. So take care if you are out and about, because we know that flu, COVID and RSV are all kind of rampant at the moment as Neptune stations. We've also had some mudslides going on. I'm going to go back to the current one. We've also had some mudslides. Cameroon, Ischia, an island in Italy, had mudslides. That's very Neptunian because the water, Neptune and Pisces is water getting into the mud, causing the mudslides. I'm even going to say the rivers of lava coming out of Mauna Loa are very kind of Neptunian, because they're going into the sea. And Neptune stations can feel like a big tide turning, okay? Almost like a slow tidal wave, not a big tsunami kind of tidal wave, but a big slow turning one that kind of digs in. And if you think about water as well, water really, water erodes, water changes. That's very Neptune station to my mind. But you might be feeling very tired. You might be just feeling like you need a lot of naps, you need extra sleep, you need to go to bed early, you need to dream a lot, you need to create a lot, and so on and so forth. So if you're feeling like that, it's likely to be Neptune in Pisces. Of course, you're going to feel it more if you have planets aspected by Neptune in Pisces, but you know, if you don't, we're all going to be feeling it because it's such a big energy. Now, I quickly want to look at this chart, and then we'll talk quickly about the Sabian symbol and the Chandra symbol. Then we'll dive into all signs. I don't want this video to be too long, but you know, I must say this is a big station because it's conjunct Jupiter. Okay. So Neptune, look at this. This is at 22:38. As I said, Venus is squaring Neptune. That's the strongest aspect. And Venus, Neptune squares, any aspect, are one of really high romance, higher love, higher idealization, higher illusion, higher deception. You may not be seeing people properly. Venus is values, money, relationships, love, all those areas. You may think everything's wonderful in those, and you may not be seeing something clearly. And also with Neptune stationing square to Venus in Sagittarius, There's a lot around belief and faith going on, but also with Venus representing money, there could be some switches and turns and shifts in money arenas and monetary wealth and abundance as well. Days before, a couple of days before Venus squares Neptune and Neptune stations, Mercury will square Neptune and is still in square on the station. And this is going to bring mixed messages. It's going to bring confusing conversations. We're not going to know what's going on. But again, Venus, Mercury, both in Sagittarius, Jupiter ruling Sagittarius and Neptune. This is about having faith and having belief and really tuning into whatever the divine is for you during this period. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a... Anyway, don't say that. That's how COVID started last time. Don't think I've got it this time. Also, we've got Ceres over here in Virgo, forming a T-square to Venus, Mercury, and Neptune and Jupiter. I'm going to say they're all part of this. Ceres is the Great Mother. Ceres is comfortable in Virgo, but she's about healing our relationship with service, usefulness, and the and wholeness and the earth, because Virgo is an earth sign. So that's being brought into the mix, and this is earth and this is water. This is the practical mystic axis, okay, with Ceres opposing. This is saying, how can we tune into the collective, the divine, and bring it down to be useful and healing down on the earth? Ceres is the goddess of the grain. She is the one who she protected the harvest. She helped humans to be in alignment with the nature of the earth. She also was the goddess of the plebeians, the ordinary people. And funnily enough, as I record this, there's a lot of chatter out there on Twitter about the rail workers in the United States and a deal that's trying to be forced through to avoid a rail strike at Christmas. And I'm not going to go into my opinions on that. It's just, you know, this to my mind is this axis with Venus and Mercury shooting their arrows to the future, now more than 10 degrees away from the sun. Then we've got a wide square to Mars retrograde. So Mars retrograde in Gemini has been looking at our community, our relationships with each other, remembering that the Gemini card in the tarot is the Lover's card. So this is very much about our relationships and our identity and our relationship to the divine and our relationship to the earth. This Neptune station is coming in. So, all right. So I actually do want to read the symbols for you. So the Sabian symbol is a materializing medium giving a seance. And the keynote is the ability to give of one's own vital energy to substantiate one's conscious ideals or unconscious desires. The person who believes he or she has a mission or mandate or any special gift that can be of value to their community must substantiate this belief. They have to produce results. Sometimes this involves difficulties and special conditions or circumstances. It always demands to some extent the gift of some power of value which is deeply one's own. The thought of sacrifice was suggested by the white lamb in the first symbol of the five-old series, Something precious involved in a deeply personal experience has to be surrendered, offered to others. The medium's psychic substance provides the materials made visible in the phenomena. If the latter are genuine, after the seance, the medium is usually exhausted. The performer gives of his very life to the performance. That speaks to the very draining energy of this Neptune station. The key word, according to Rudyard, is substantiation. The shadowy aspect of the process is deception. Okay. Now, if you don't mind 1 second, I'm just going to pause to cough because I just need a drink. Hang on. That's better. Needed some water. Okay, so the Chandra symbol for the Neptune station direct is someone lurking in a dark wood. They are waiting for a passerby, imagining and conceiving nefarious plans and designs within the unconscious mind, and blanket denial by the conscious mind. The shadows, the dark, the unknown are saturated with menace, trickery, deception, and long built up heavy emotions. All of this is too much for the conscious self to even begin to claim or own. You are essentially engulfed by dark shadows, deep shadows, with outward shows of light, but truly you cannot play it any other way. And even if this syndrome perpetuates and gives great sanctuary to dark and mischievous spirits, it is deeply experienced as a fate imposed by past mistakes that this lifetime's self did not originate. And so the protestations of innocence are accurate and sincere, even while you are harboring everything you crave to break from forever. Whoa. So this does speak to the nebulous and shadowy nature of this Neptune station and of Neptune in Pisces in general, but particularly in this station and Neptune stations in general as well. You know, it's very shadowy energy. It can, all these nebulous kind of unconscious fears can come to the surface during a Neptune station as well. All right, so let's look at, in fact, let's just start where we're at. I set this chart for Washington, D.C. because I've been doing some work on that. And let's just start with the rising sign that is on the ascendant when I set this chart. Now, when you're listening to these kind of videos, whether they're mine or anybody else's, if you know your rising sign, listen to the rising sign. Also listen to your sun sign. If you don't know your rising sign, listen to your sun sign. It can affect a moon sign a little, but mainly it's rising sign or sun sign. If you don't know your rising sign, astro.com or astro-seek.com give you places to create your astrology chart for free. And there is a tool, but basically your rising sign is the sign that's here. Okay, when you look at the chart, if you look to the left and this line with the arrow, that's your rising sign. So if you don't know your rising sign, go and get a free chart and look at the symbol that's on the ascendant over here and look at that. Okay, but let's dive in with Cancer. So Cancer, for you, this is going to be the 9th house. And the 9th house, this is a beautiful place to have a Neptune station. This is the higher self, the sources of expansion and inspiration and personal beliefs, experience of the divine. This is also travel and other cultures. It's more foreign travel, travel of the mind, and higher education, whether formal or informal, higher learning, I prefer to call it. And so if you're actually physically traveling long distance, there could be some change of plans and things like that with this station, with sources of expansion and personal beliefs. There could be some shifting sands. What you have faith in and what you believe could be shifting and changing, and you could be really emerging into something new. And most of it will be coming from an actual experience of the divine. All right. You know, you will have perhaps have a mystical experience with the Neptune station in the 9th house that teaches you something of higher knowledge. Okay. Or you may read something that really teaches you something that really kind of elevates your sense of knowing and faith and belief. So it's a beautiful house to have this in, okay, because it's kind of quite attuned to that energy. So that's for Cancer rising or Cancer sun sign. Now, Leo. So for Leo, this is in the 8th house of intimacy. This is in your bonded relationships of the emotional, psychological, and sexual kinds. This is also the realm of the deep psyche, taboo subjects, so-called the occult, the hidden kind of knowledge, the magic, underlying reality, death also, physical and psychological, and shared financial resources. And there could be some nebulousness around that, particularly in the area of shared resources or your most deeply bonded relationships. Either that, or you will just shift your view or your feelings really about the people you're in deeply bonded relationships with. And it could be deeply intimate and magical if you tune into this surrender kind of energy of it, instead of trying to kind of take the lead, which, you know, Leo loves to do. This is one of just surrendering to this deep spiritual and almost psychic intimacy in the 8th house. Quite beautiful. So, but it's going to change the direction a little bit of where this is all going for you. Now, before I move to the other signs, I will say that Neptune's been in Pisces for a long time. And these, you know, Neptune has been going direct and forward and for many years. But this one will affect you more if you have planets or angles around 22 degrees. But you can look back the last few years and see what Neptune's been doing for the area of life to see how things might shift as well. Okay. All right. So let's move on and move to Virgo. So Virgo, this is your opposite sign. So for you, this is in your 7th house. And this is the house of relationship. It's what you attract. It's the nature of your relationships. It's all significant others, including your partner, but it's also your patterns in relationships, or how you compromise yourself for others, and also your disowned self. You may see something in people that you really go, oh, I don't like that. And it's often a part of you that you don't want to look at. Well, the shifting sides of Neptune may reveal things that you hadn't seen, or you may be very confused when you look at people during this period of the Neptune station, not seeing people clearly, not seeing your significant other clearly, being very confused. It's going to change your perceptions as Neptune moves forward. The clouds might begin to clear, and that can be for good or bad. Okay, so that's just the area of life where it is for you. So let's go to Libra next. And Libra, for you, this is in your 6th house, which is the area of work or service. This is the nature of work you do, your day-to-day work experience, your style of daily living, your relationship to service or mentoring. It can also be your health or pets. Neptune stationing in there. I mean, you've always got Pisces here if you're Libra rising. So, you know, you've always got these health things. But when there's an influence of this, there could be, this is, you know, I would advise you to really take good care around the things I talked about with the compromised immune system energy around, with flu and COVID and RSV, etc., all rampant. I would, Libra rising or Libra sun, please take extreme care right now, because your energy levels may be low. You may not feel like work, you know, you may not feel like doing the daily routine. You may feel like checking out a little bit, just doing the station, really. Things will pick up as Neptune begins to move forward. So Scorpio. So Scorpio, this for you is in the 5th house of creative self-expression, of performing ability, joy, children, sport, pleasure, leisure, hobbies, play, romance, all those kind of fun, joyous things. and Neptune will have you tuned in to creativity and playfulness. This is again, it's a nice place to have this Neptune station. It's you're more likely to be able to give in and just surrender to the fun and the creative ability with it in this house. So in this point of energy where it's quite low, just really kind of allow yourself to be creative and have some fun during this time. And whether that means playing with your children, playing with somebody else's children, playing on your own, or just creating on your own, just find some joy here with this Neptune station. Because during the Neptune station, nothing is very straightforward, so you may as well just chill and relax. All right. So we have Sagittarius next. Sagittarius, that's me. This is in your 4th house, and this is the house of the home, but it's your nature of your inner private life as well as your physical home. It's the basis of security. It's the type of home you create or prefer, and your family of origin, one of the parents. And you are just likely to just not want to leave home during this Neptune station. You're likely to just want to sit there and just enjoy whether it's your physical home or your inner home, just your tight little family. You may just want to batten down the hatches and just connect and feel the connection between them. But as it is a Neptune station, you know, again, things may be a little confusing and tide may turn a little in this area as Neptune starts to move direct. Okay. All right. All right. Capricorn. For you, this is the 3rd house. This is communication, perception, communication style, the voice, what you think and talk about. It can also be siblings. But can you imagine Neptune station in Pisces in the 3rd house, what that's doing? You will not be able to make sense of what's coming your way, and you may not be making sense, but it's a wonderful time to kind of tune in and do something like stream of consciousness writing, or watching fantasy films and taking in some information that way, because you probably will not be able to focus on words, to be quite honest, if you're reading, or whatever words are coming out of your mouth may not be kind of rational and straightforward. It's all very kind of confusing and nebulous. So just sink into the enjoyment of fantasy with the Neptune station in this realm for you. So, okay. That was Capricorn. Yeah. Aquarius, this for you is the 2nd house. This is your resources, your self-confidence, what you value, your relationship to your body and the natural world. It's your approach to earning and how you make your money. Well, you may not feel like doing much. Your self-esteem may be a little bit low during this Neptune station, but you may just feel like, you know, going and lying on the grass and looking at the clouds and the stars and things, just to kind of raise up your chi a little bit. That's supposing you're not living in a place like I do where you've got snow on the ground. But either way, you can sink into the magic of the natural world and just, I don't know, do some dreaming on the couch to feel your body and tune in, have a bath, make your body feel good during this time. And I'm only talking about the days around the station, really. As I said, with Neptune being such a slow-moving planet, you know, once he gets up to speed after about 5 days, so that would be about December the 8th, things will start moving. You'll feel it gradually, the energy gradually coming back. Okay. So Pisces, for you, this is the 1st house. So this is your appearance, your persona, your personality, it's your face. It's also how others see you initially. You've got some sparkle during this Neptune station, but also people will be going, I can't quite see what she's about. you know, and you may be wanting to hide. With a Neptune station in the first house, you may just go, I just want to be alone, just go away, talk to the hand, leave me alone, spend some time alone. I do not want to be out there in the world. Honor that for a few days as much as you can. All right. So, Aries. Yep, Aries. Aries for you, it's the 12th house, the house that's most aligned with Neptune and Pisces. This is the realm of the unconscious. This is all forms of altered state, trance, dream, meditative, creative, intuitive states. It's secluded places, prisons, monasteries, hospitals, and it's the house of hidden enemies too. With Neptune stationing on there, some really old fears could come up. Some fears of being alone. You know, Aries likes to be out there in the world. This may have you really going, oh, I don't like this. I don't feel this, very uncomfortable. Aries is very direct, fire, and this Neptune station might feel very, very uncomfortable for you, and you may feel a little bit lost and uncomfortable for a few days. So just be aware of it and sink in, do some meditation. Again, baths, long baths or long showers, great for that for you. So allow yourself that time. Taurus. So for Taurus, this is the 11th house. This is groups, organizations, causes. It can even be politics, social consciousness. It's also the place of hopes and wishes. This is, you may not know where you're going. You may feel confused in groups. You may go, I don't feel the same about a group that I was involved with before. And you may feel the sands of time shifting over here. And with regarding hopes and wishes, you may really not know where you're going. Again, any form for anybody in this, meditation, dream work, stream of consciousness writing, will just help you process these feelings. But this is where it's going to be affecting for you. And because it's in the area of groups of friends and things, there could be some shifting sands in those friend groups. Okay, people leaving, people kind of just disappearing from your life, for example. So last one is Gemini, because we started with Cancer. So Gemini, this is in the 10th house, which is your most public self, your most visible place in your chart. And it's how you're seen in the world and the nature of your career. Well, you will probably not feel like being very visible. You are going to feel like not being out there in the world. If you have any chance of just taking a couple of days off around the station, luckily it's on a weekend. It's actually on December the 3rd. It's kind of shifted a bit because of me moving the chart around, but it's this coming weekend. It's saying, you know, just withdraw from the world a little bit and surrender into that magical kind of nebulousness of Neptune, and do some sitting under a tree. Go and hug a tree, go and sit against a tree, go and sit in a sauna or a long bath for a long time, or go swimming. It's Neptune stations are not really a great time for kind of rational thought and action in the world. It's a time to rest and withdraw. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm sorry my throat is a little bit croaky, and don't forget to subscribe, okay? And also don't forget to register for the solstice celebration on December the 21st and a preview of 2023. Oh, and before I go, I turned, because even though I'm recording this on November the 29th, I turned my calendar to December because Neptune is stationing in December. And look at this beautiful art for the Neptune station, okay, for December. But just look at this. This is by She Who Is. She's on Instagram and Facebook. She does a calendar and she does beautiful goddess artwork. She's got some goddess oracle cards too that she illustrated, and I don't know where they are, but beautiful art. So I thought I'd put her up there for you. So until next time, peace.